Hey, aloha, everybody. Welcome to the Questionable Authority, where hey, hypothetically, hey, come on in, Kapua. Say hi to the people. Yes. You're a good girl. Come on, say hi. You are a good girl, and you are such a good alarm clock for your mommy in the morning. Yes, you are. You get mommy up at 5 a.m. like clockwork every morning. You're a terrible alarm clock for me. Yes, you are. You're a good girl. Okay. Ah. Welcome to the Questionable Authority, where it is. All right, look. I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't think I'm doing bad at all for just dead asleep 8 minutes ago. Uh, okay? I mean, let's ignore the fact that probably I shouldn't have been asleep 8 minutes ago. And, just embrace the fact that we got the stream started at all. My name's Mike. I'm a lawyer. I'm not your lawyer. Unless I am your lawyer. But even if I am your lawyer, I'm not your lawyer for the purposes of this stream. How's everybody doing today? As I inhale, exhale, and take good note of the fact that adrenaline may not be caffeine, but damn, it does the job. I haven't gotten up this quick since, man, when was the last time I got up this quick? 1994. 1990, no, 1993. 1993. December 1993. Why December 1993? Why can I come up with a specific wake up like that? Well, granted, there's a big difference between the one I'm about to tell you about and this one, but almost exactly this time, oh my god, 93, 03, 13, 23. Years can't add up to that much, can they? Wow. Okay, this time, almost exactly this time, 31 years ago. Matter of fact, very much almost exactly this time, 31 years ago, give or take a week. Finals, my first semester at SUNY Albany. This was the first time I started undergrad, as opposed to the second time I started undergrad, which was in 1997, and the third time I started undergrad, which was in 2002. It was heading toward my last final. Because it was my last final, I had very much understudied for it. It was a Friday morning final, and the Friday morning final was going to have to be followed by, making sure that the dorm had been sufficiently closed for the winter break and getting my ass to the train station to get home to the Bronx. Probably it was actually. It might even have been this may even be almost exactly the 30th anniversary down to the minute now that I do the math, because I think finals ran pretty late at SUNY Albany back at that time. Pretty late, I mean pretty late into the year. I don't think we got more than like a 3-week, 4-week spring break, and half of it was into January. So, hadn't studied much for the exam. Had put a whole lot of time into packing and stuff. Had an exam the day before, which was a take-home exam, and had required an absolute all-nighter to get done. I needed all 24 hours for that one. So I was pretty tired. I needed to study. Yeah, it would have been actually a day earlier, because it would have been Thursday for the Friday exam. I went, laid down to take a nap in the evening. Was going to get up and study some more. Woke up extraordinarily refreshed. You know that refreshed feeling you get when you've been asleep for 7, 8, 9, 10 hours? Woke up feeling that refreshed. Looked at the alarm clock. I'd gone to take my nap at 7 p.m. The alarm clock said 9:04. The exam started at 8:50. because obviously I've been asleep for at least 12 hours based on how I feel. Man, that time I got halfway from the dorm to the classroom building before I realized how dark it was for 9 in the morning. This time, at least, I actually missed the thing I thought I missed. Alright, caffeine is in, pulse is coming back down. I don't have a big plan for today. It's the last stream before Christmas. I've had a bunch of personal stuff going, as some of you know, and then catching up on a bunch of work stuff beyond it. I did not see that Rudy filed his opposition. We'll look at that. We can look at that one. That's far enough from political, because I say it is. We'll look at that one. And the other thing that I think we'll look at first, though, to stay on focused for this being a tech stream, and if Adrian Lay wants to post this one, we'll also make it easier for her to clip it. We'll start by looking at what Matt Mullenweg is up to, because as I was loading things up, I took a look at my Blue Sky Menchies, and Matt Mullenweg is up to fucking shenanigans. Pardon my language. So, he did do something stupid again. By the way, I don't think I knew that when I posted it, because this came up. Nope, this was 15 minutes ago. Somebody left me that message. Alright. Let me pull that tab over. And close that down. Go to that, click link. Go to this. Go to Blue Sky. And let me also close all tabs on that so that when we open up Rudy's thing, you don't accidentally get to see everything else I'm working on. All right. Let me expand this a little bit so that you can see it. What does this say? News holiday break. In order to give myself and many tired volunteers around WordPress.org a break for the holidays, we're going to be... Oh my. Alright, look. I was a lawyer. I am a lawyer. I was an EMT for a while. Did work both on ambulance and in ER. When it comes to WordPress, we're pausing a few of the free services currently offered. New account registrations, new plugin directory submissions, new plugin reviews, new theme directory submissions, new photo directory submissions. The phrase that is kicking around in my head right now, two words, which I heard too many times. Nope, like I said, I am a lawyer, but I was an EMT. There's two words that, especially if you work in the hospital, in the ER doing emergency stuff, you do hear too often. Two words, Gadget, not three. Call it. Call it. That's the phrase that's running through my head, and it is WordPress at this point. That might be blunt. But Matt has now just made it clear that the very core of WordPress is under his personal control. And he is willing to arbitrarily wield that in ways that will hurt all WordPress users because he is a petulant toddler. So, yeah. The phrase that's going through my head looking at that is, call it. Are you all familiar with the phrase, call it, in that context and what it is? Time of death. Yep. Fork the whole thing, Tom. I don't think there is any way around that now. I think Matt Mullenweg has just killed arguably the single most successful open source project in the history of open source projects. Well, second after Unix-ish, but yeah. If WordPress doesn't fork by New Year's, that's Apache over it. All right, one of the top 5. Let's just go to one of the top 5. How's that? All right. Are you going to knock me down to the top 10? But anyway, an enormous open source project is at this point, dead, cause of death, Mullenweg. All right, as you may have heard, I'm legally compelled to provide free labor and services to WP Engine thanks to the success of their expensive lawyers. My dude, your lead lawyer is, I believe, the literal single most expensive by the hour lawyer in the USA. Success of their expensive lawyers, you little schmuck. So in order to avoid bothering the court, I will say that none of the above applies to WP Engine. So if they need to bypass any of the above, please have your high-priced attorneys talk to my high-priced attorneys, and we'll arrange access or just reach out directly to me on Slack, and I'll fix things for you, and get the hell off the cross. We need the wood. They can use it to build desks for wherever they decide to run the new WordPress out of. Technically, Rochelle, he was not ordered to maintain the status quo. He was ordered to allow WP Engine to keep access, because allowing WP Engine to keep access would or should have maintained the status quo. I hope to find the time, energy, and money to reopen all of this, quote, sometime in the new year. Right now, much of the time I would spend making WordPress better is being taken up defending against WP Engine's legal attacks. Their attacks are against Automatic, but also me individually as the owner of WordPress.org, which means if they win, I can be personally liable for millions of dollars of damages. Pro tip. If you do not want to be held personally liable for millions of dollars of damages, do not personally inflict millions of dollars of damages. This is a general statement and not personal legal advice that is necessarily applicable to Matt Mullenweg or any of you. If you would like to fund legal attacks against me, I would encourage you to sign up for WP Engine Services. They have great plans and pricing. If not, you can use literally any other web host in the world that isn't suing me and is offering promotions and discounts for switching away from WP Engine. Oh my God. Robert, that's not tiptoeing around the line, that's pissing on the electric fence. um, because remember, you can often piss on the electric fence without getting shocked. Whew. Yikes on almighty bikes. It is possible. It is. They did what? Okay. Here's the move that I would expect, potentially anyway, at this point. I don't think you move for contempt. I don't think you move for contempt because this is only right up to the border. I think you do really have to seriously consider requesting a status conference, though. I honestly think that the only thing right now that would keep me from requesting the status conference, I think, is how close we are to Christmas. And I think you request the status conference to clarify the meaning of the TRO. And what happens basically is you get the kind of order that is it's a clarification order that tends to come with suggestions that the clarification order may subsequently, if another one is needed, also come alongside a toothbrush order. Because yikes on almighty bikes. The complication with that course of action right now is the complication with that course of action potentially is it's almost Christmas, and that is complicating factor. Toothbrush order is the parties and their counsel are invited to bring their toothbrushes with them to this status conference. It comes with the implication of incarceration. All right. Automatic. Let's look at their blog and see what, if anything new is there. Uh, Alright, doesn't look like there's anything here. Let's check Mullenweg's personal blog. Matt Mullenweg, unlucky in cards. Oh. When Inc. magazine reached out to have David H. Friedman write a feature press piece, I was excited because although Inc. wasn't a magazine I've read much since I was a teenager, David seemed like a legit journalist who usually writes for better publications like The Atlantic. Is Matt Mullenweg 8 and literally Donald Trump? I opened up to David with a number of vulnerable stories and allowed the photo shoot in my home in Houston. Whether it was him or his editors, unfortunately the pieces turned out pretty biased and negative, even to the point of cherry-picking negative photos from the photo shoot they did in my home. It also has a number of basic errors which make me question the fact-checking and editorial integrity of Inc. in the first place. No! Oh! Oh my god, poor Neil. Oh. Wow. Do you know how bad it has to make me feel an intense wince of sympathy for Neil fucking Katyal? Do you know how bad it's gotta be to get to that? But that sentence did it right there. Because not only did he apparently give an interview, he's now going to personally fact correct the interview. Wow. Okay, I no longer feel bad for Neil because he makes a gajillion dollars and he's a jerk, but, wow. Although they have dozens of photos of me smiling, it starts with one where I look pretty morose. At least I got some Sonny Rollins and Audrey Hepburn in the background. DL, we moved it a half hour earlier. That's going to be a thing for probably the rest of the winter. The article starts with a conversation David had with me when we were both in the bathroom away from his recorder, where he had remarked that the bathroom was really nice. I talked about visiting Google in 2004 and thinking they had cheap toilet paper, and how given that Automatic's offices are barely used, there's no reason not to spend a few extra bucks on nice soap and toilet paper to give a better experience. I chose those brands because it's what I use in my home, and I want people in our offices to have the same quality. David spins it thusly. I ask him who at Automatic, the estimated $710 million company of which Mullenweg is CEO, is responsible for toilet paper and soap quality control. Me, he says, beaming. Of course, Mullenweg's control of Automatic extends well beyond the bathroom. How is... I chose those brands. I ask him who is responsible. Me. Now you know how the rest of the piece is going to go. Factual errors mixed with bias. What's factual error? First, no credible business publication will put Automatic's valuation at 710. Our last E-Series primary round was at 7.5 billion. That was still 2021. And we'd probably trade closer to 5 billion now with current multiples, but still the article is an order of magnitude off. Oh, is he sad that they're undervaluing? Oh my god. David asked if there was a person responsible for choosing toiletries. Of course not. We have better thing to do. The entire thing took probably 30 seconds of my time, from going to the bathroom in the New York office to sending a Slack message, and I haven't thought about it since. And it all began when Mullenweg got very annoyed very publicly at a 400 million company called WP Engine. Once again, unable to distinguish between revenue and valuation. On September 25th, more than 1.5 million websites around the world suddenly lost the ability to make them some routine software updates. First, WP Engine doesn't host 1.5 million WordPress sites. This was easily checked on our website, WordPressEngineTracker.com. They're showing recently moved. That comes from a JSON file, which is not a CSV file. Oh, ow, oh. Wow, these are some bad decisions. Let's see. Which is best we can tell from crawling the web, looking at domain registrations and public data, they probably had 750K. Second, those sites could still do software updates using WP Engine's tools or by uploading new versions. It was just the connectivity between the data centers and WordPress.org's that was impacted for a few days. It was impacted for more than a few days, but he is not shooting himself in the foot with a machine gun. His aim is up and in. WP Engine had royally pissed off Matt Mullenweg for not contributing enough to the open source community, in his opinion. Mullenweg claims he had been in negotiations with WP Engine for months to get them to cough up their fair share one way or the other, but finally decided the company had dragged its feet for too long, leading him to break off talks and go public with his ire. No, the negotiations and what they were doing was abuse of the WordPress and WooCommerce trademarks. Ah! Oh, fuck. I also think it's lame how little they're involved in the software their entire business is built on, and their ability to serve customers was dependent on free server resources and bandwidth from WordPress.org, but our negotiations were about trademark use. Mullenweg controls the WordPress Foundation, the nonprofit that oversees the open source software, their website that serves as the gateway to resources and the trademark. False, false, false. First, I do not control the foundation. I am one of 3 board members, and the other 2 board members are very not much mutual. Get multiple copies of me standing on each other's shoulders wearing trench coats. The other 2 board members could remove me at any time if they ever had meetings. Second, the foundation does not oversee the core software or the WordPress.org website. This is super clear in WPE's legal filings, even if it never was until then. in the pages or by talking to anyone who understands this. Really shoddy journalism. Nobody understands this, Matt, because you've gone out of your way to make sure that nobody can understand it. The nearly 1,700 employees, a number that reflects the more than 150 who have left in the past few months, are scattered officeless across 90 countries. As you can see on our website, we have 1,750, not nearly 1,700. Comes off as surprisingly chill given all the angry online noise. 2 days later, a comment popped up under the post from a UK coder. Would you like some help? Okay, the origin of WordPress, I don't care. Sorry, guys. I'm not sure where to start. The WordPress trademark doesn't belong to Mullenweg. It belongs to the WordPress Foundation, but Mullenweg is the only one who can enforce it in a commercial context through his control of Automatic. Automatic has an exclusive commercial license. Automatic's really the only one who can control the use at this point. Mullenweg had another complaint. WP Engine was violating Automatic's trademark rights over the WordPress name based on the fact that WP Engine freely used the abbreviation WP and that WordPress appeared throughout their site. You referred to WP in a whole lot of stuff along the way, Matt. Whenever Mullenweg is accused of being too controlling, he also often points out he turned over control of the software to a non-profit, which he created in 2010 and did indeed assign it all WordPress rights. But he didn't. Because he back assigned the commercial rights to the trademark to himself, to Automatic, which is him. I've never said that. It's not even factually accurate or possible for me to assign all WordPress rights. It was. But few people who've looked at the Foundation take its independence seriously because it doesn't exist. Okay, I take its independence seriously the same way that I take the Tooth Fairy seriously. The names of the other directors do appear on the website. Like most theme vendors in the early years of that small sub-industry, it sold its themes under a proprietary license. But in 2008, cleaned house of all theme vendors who refused to switch to an open source license. Thesis gave in. Some are leaving. It's funny to talk about the last big controversy being in 2010. I think it actually speaks to our stability. The problem with stability is that stability is only stable until it's not stable. And once you are lurching down once you are just lurching down the catastrophe curve, baby, some are leaving WordPress. North Star Digital Design has already decided to abandon WordPress and WP Engine for Webflow. I can't depend on WordPress if Matt's going to make changes based on whatever he happens to want at the time. Now bragging about, this is so Donald Trump. Like, factually. This isn't even me being political. This is just factually. This is just so, like... This is arguing about the size of the crowd. When I ask Mullenweg if he's feeling traumatized by the criticism, he tells me that okay. If talking about getting laughed at in Little League a little bit for cartoon underwear is a vulnerable moment, you had a really nice childhood. Finally, WP Engine talks to the press after months of avoiding interviews. In a prepared statement emailed to Inc. Oh, that's from September. A WP Engine spokesman said, "We are encouraged by and supportive of the ideas we see being shared by leaders within WordPress and adjacent open source platforms to reimagine how key elements of the ecosystem are governed and funded." Clear plug for pushing Mullenweg out of his leadership. Yeah. Because WordPress doesn't survive with him as a leader. There's more slop. I'm not going to keep going through it. Whew, baby. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little at loss for a reaction. But I'm only a little bit lost for a reaction, I think. Maybe somebody can help me.
That was a choice. Choices.
I mean, choices. Everybody makes choices, but that was a choice. Questions on WordPress. WordPress going once, WordPress going twice, WordPress going thrice. Sold. Okay, and as I'm thinking about things, all right, you know what we're going to do? We're not going to do Rudy Giuliani today. We're going to wrap with Rudy Giuliani. We're going to wrap with this. We're going to make this a short stream. Here's how I'm going to make it up to you. Christmas Eve. And since it's Christmas Eve, we'll do it even a bit earlier in the day. 5 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Hawaiian on the nose work. We'll do a Rudy Giuliani special for you for a Christmas present. It'll be the last hurrah for a political-ish kind of stream before we go fully to tech. And that'll let me go through all 3 filings. That'll be the Christmas present. That'll be the last hurrah political stream. This is definitely going to be exclusively tech-focused going forward. We've got enough and what I think I'll do, hey, tech people who are in here. Callie, can we get a fresh link to the Discord for some of the tech folks? Tech people who are here who are not already in my Discord, if there's any of the WordPress people here, or if you're listening to this on the VOD, do me a favor. I'm going to try to start doing, so I think I'm going to be able, certainly as we move later into the year, January streams are going to be hit or miss for reasons I'll get into in a second. Once we start getting into February, and particularly after we start getting into March, April, the stream times may change. We may go into to stream times that are much more friendly for VODs for East Coast people. We may have to push quite late East Coast time. We'll be figuring out a lot as we get into March. But one of the things that I think we're going to do is more of the kind of streams that we can go ahead and put up on YouTube or something as long-term, less ephemeral kind of things than most of the Twitch streams. So for all of the tech people, especially some of the folks who are newer, if there are basic legal concepts that you'd love to have broken down, whether that's intellectual property or general internet regulation, or contract law. I mean, contracts got a huge amount of overlap with tech, right? Basic legal concepts in those areas, drop in the Discord, even if you don't stick around there, and drop those into the stream suggestions channel for me. I'll try to start doing some of those, and I'll try to, as my New Year's resolution, how's this? Here's my New Year's resolution, and you can hold me to this one. You sent me a message about TikTok on Blue Sky and it was ignored. I may not have seen it. The problem with big account, and the problem more to the point here, if you're a big account and you're me, is that DMs are not a great method of getting my attention, and mention tags are often even worse because my mentions are a chronic disaster area and I can't make it all the way through my own mentions. It was a mention, then that would do it, yeah. Anytime I post, once you're at more than about 6,000 followers on Blue Sky, which was, call it about 15,000 followers on Twitter, the Blue Sky, you get a lot more engagement. It comes down to about 6. About 2 minutes after I post something, I've got 30 notifications. Often less. And that starts by the time you get to about 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Or, after the thing. Minute or two. For 5,000, 6,000 followers. And yeah, a lot of the time you just clear all. Especially if you want to look at other things, you just can't live in your mentions. Anyway, stream going forward after the holidays, and yeah, if you want to trim this, if you're going to post it, this is a good place to trim. Logistics. We'll do Tuesday, Thursday next week because I promised a special stream on Tuesday. We'll do Thursday the 2nd. Which means, what would that be? Friday 3rd, Saturday 4th, Sunday 5th, Monday 6th, Tuesday the 7th. We may do. I will try to do Tuesday the 7th, but also I'm going to have some stuff coming in about stream time for work. There will then be a break because I will be in Japan I'm leaving on the 8th and I won't be back till the 19th. There will be at least one stream the week after the 19th, but probably sometime that following week or the week after that I'm going to be in New York and we'll miss. That's January. February, closing on a condo and moving. So probably I'll be able to do regular stream times. But particularly around actually getting furniture out of one house and into another house, particularly when the other house is smaller house, maybe some changes, maybe some misses. May have to see how that goes. Because we are downsizing a lot. After that, for various reasons that I will get into another time, there is a decent chance that the streams may be moving to later in the day, Hawaii time. If that's so, I'll try to figure out ways to make the interactivity stick around, but it may become difficult for East Coast folks. It's going to be what it is on that one, and we'll just have to see. Worst case scenario, we start looking at maybe doing less Twitch, maybe doing more YouTube, maybe doing, finding a way to do questions. I don't know. We'll figure stuff out. So that's where we are at everything. That's where we are on everything. There is absolutely a lot that I'll just have to kind of figure that out on that one. But we'll get into that in a month or two. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for this shortened and late starting edition of Litigation Disaster Tourism Hour. Thank you all for dropping by anyway, despite my rather frenetic start to this one. My name's Mike, still a lawyer, still not your lawyer, but until next time. Mahalo, everybody, for watching, and aloha.